5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello everyone, have a beautiful evening. Here we are with Maverick from Malaysia, and we are at the Global Empowerment Summit, and you are seeing a live show with us, and I am introducing you Maverick and his theory about marketers. I'm super excited about it, and I can't wait to talk about it with Maverick. Hi Maverick, how are you today?
Hey, hi, good evening, and welcome to the audience all over the world from Malaysia.
Maverick, I'm always starting with introducing the speaker a little bit to the audience, so I will ask you a few questions. Don't be surprised. So the first question, what's your favorite food?
Food? Wow, okay. Something that I would say no to is Japanese ramen. So I would say that would be my favorite, something I can kind of eat every day, actually.
Wow, ramen, that's nice. And what's your favorite book?
The one that I think I give and reread the most would be Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. So a close second would be also by Mitch Albom, Have a Little Faith. So I think those are the two books that I reread almost every year. And I think I bought the most to give friends. So definitely my favorite books.
Beautiful. And your favorite place in the world?
That's tough. I just for now, I think the next couple of years, if the moment I can travel, I'll probably go to Taipei, because the last time, Taiwan, when I was there, I only did the top half of Taiwan for a month, when the whole plan was to do the whole month. So I think for the whole of COVID, I felt semi-incomplete, because then I have like another part of the country that I'm supposed to be done. So I think I'll probably go there. But two places that usually comes to mind is either Thailand or Taiwan. If I can migrate and stay there for the rest of my life, it will probably be these two countries.
Oh, that's nice. I wanted to go to Taiwan. Do you know something that is really good there? What do you want to see in Taiwan? You just like the place, or it's so beautiful?
Yeah, it's the culture. I think it's the culture. Of course, food is a big plus, but the people are just friendly, and somehow you feel very welcome over there. Very much the same as, but not all part of Thailand. I still like Chiang Mai the most, because I think I realized they are more health conscious as well. So they're into the greens. So Chiang Mai up north, yeah, this is like a type 2 spots if I have to pick one. Yeah, so I'll probably be able to let you know once I complete the whole of Taiwan.
Yeah, let me know. I would love to go there. So we are here to talk about marketers. So we can jump into the topic. I know that's your favorite, and then you like to debunk these myths around marketers. So let's see whether they are magicians.
Yeah, no, because a lot of times, I think marketers have been around for the longest time, and we have always, how do you say this politely? So it's like it's like going to a photo shoot. So when you go to a photo shoot, if the photographer would tell you that, hey, Andrea, why not you just, look to the side, you have a nicer angle, for example, and then they'll start taking shots from that angle, right? And so marketers do that. So if let's say a product is not strong, if you were to look at it from the front, our job is to like tweak it, and maybe you view it from another angle. So now, then the conversation comes in. How ethical is that? So like for example, with the earlier versions of iPhones, battery life had always been an issue. So they never really talk about the battery life, but they talk about, hey, you can do this amazing shots with the phone and stuff like this. So which is nothing wrong. We tend to always focus on our strength, but to a certain degree, we always have to ask ourselves, then when do we bring out the weaknesses and be very transparent with the consumers, right? Because the consumers are not dumb nowadays. We will do our research and all that. And also the other thing is, if we have the power to shift perception, when do we stop? So like if you look at how political campaigns have been running for the last couple of years, Facebook have been on the center stage because they have been accused of politicians will use Facebook to like inject ideas, to incept ideas. And market in a way is there's a lot of marketing at play as well. So at what point will the marketer say that, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. President, we can't do that anymore, because that would be too manipulative, right? So there's always this thing that I would ponder among the marketers. We will ask like, is there a level that we would stop and say that and tell the client that, oh, okay, this is something that we can't do. So yeah, like for me personally, but I've been lucky. I've never really gotten any clients who are in the alcohol or tobacco industry or of course human trafficking. So the big scenes, I've never done marketing in those areas before. But that doesn't mean that, say for example, if I can put out a message to get people to buy additional shirts even though they don't need it, how ethical is that? So that has always been a thought on my mind, partly because I used to be a Buddhist monk as well, and we are always trained to be more frugal and be modest, be humble. So I do think about that a lot as I approach 40 this year. Like what would be the legacy that marketers or even myself leave behind when we croak, I guess. Yeah.
Before we continue, I really love to talk about the Buddhist monk part, as you already mentioned it.
Sure.
But I would like to say hi to Riai Hedia from Tunisia and Jagatis, who are already watching us, and all the other viewers. And please, if you see us, and give us some support and put some smiley in the comments so that we can see that you are here and hearing us and watching us and interested in the topic. So let's talk about this part of your lives. Like, how did it happen? How long you were there, and why didn't you continue until the end? I mean, why didn't you stay there?
Okay. So how it started was because my mom had always been a staunch Buddhist. So at 14, she kind of asked me if, well, to a certain degree, I think my mom could be manipulative as well, because she asked me, hey, do you love me? And usually then the follow-up would be like, what do you want me to do? Because out of the blue, they won't ask, moms won't ask questions like this, right? So then she said that, hey, there's this program at the temple. You make me very happy if you go, and it'll be good, and I'll be very happy. Do this for mom, blah blah blah, all that. And I decided, why not just give it a try. So in the Sri Lankan tradition, we would do for 3 years before marriage. And after marriage, which I haven't really figured out how that works. So after marriage, you're supposed to do another 3 more years. So do you like divorce your wife and all that? So technically, because I'm a single dad, I got divorced a couple of years ago. So I kind of still owe the temple the 3 years. But I figured I'll probably postpone it towards the end, because it has always been, because at the temple, I would see some business owners and some entrepreneurs, and they will come to my master, and sometimes they are stressed with their business. And I realized there's nothing much my masters could do, because look, they've joined the temple since the age of 7, some at the age of 12. They probably will not have much worldly experience. And so sometimes I think the devotees kind of like expect a bit too much from the monks as well. And I just jokingly thought that it would be cool if, when I become a monk one day in the distant future, and I can, you can come over with your business and marketing problems, and along with the Buddhist teachings, I probably can give you some tips on how to map out a strategy plan, just donate some money on the way out, and off you go. So it'd be a lot of fun. But he has laid down really good foundation. So as I was looking through the topics that you have arranged, and amazing speakers you have, so some would talk more about some of the how to deal with negative emotions, which is mental wellness, which is the key. So when I was a monk, so I was 14 at the time, and a lot of times the things that they taught at the temple did not make much sense to me because I was only 14. So up to a point where one of my masters came to me and just say that, hey, so my name is Vimala Siri, which is my Sanskrit name. And he said, well, I think we have been observing you. I think a lot of things that we teach, you kind of don't understand, but rest assured, all the stuff are in your head. And when you need help in the future, trust that the wisdom will come. And true enough, so roughly about 15 years later, when my mom got a relapse of cancer. So the first time we were pretty okay. Of course, not okay because it was a big, but she was a lot younger the first time around. She was only 40 plus. So the recovery was good. She was strong. But when the relapse came about 10 years later, it was really hard. And I realized that at that time, I just started business. I just became a dad. And there's a lot of stress happening, right? And I just remember parking my car at the side of the road. And it was during that time that I actually remembered what my master told me. He said that, so always focus on the present. And I would argue the shit out of it because if you always focus on the present, don't you look at the past and learn from your mistakes? Don't you plan for the future? So, so I was having this argument. And then it was at that moment I realized, and like 15 years in, I realized that, hey, at the present, there are actually no emotions. Even if someone scolded you, someone slapped you, that was 1 microsecond ago. By definition, that is actually in the past. So that's the reason why whenever we meditate or when we, go to a strong power yoga pose, right? It's always focused on the breath. Because when you focus on the breath, you are immediately brought into the present and you realize that there's actually no emotions because emotions flee. You may feel anger. Someone may have scolded you, but that anger actually move aside. Yes, it doesn't change the fact that someone has scolded you, but you have the ability to respond. Every second of the day, whatever happened, you have ability to respond. So I think that has that I think would be something that a lot of the viewers of this would probably resonate as well, because we are so tired of reacting to circumstances all the time. It would be great that once in a while we have control over the responses that we make. So if you ask me, what are some of the profound lessons that I get? Living the present would be one. It's simple, like it's just 3 words: live in the present. 4 words. But yeah, it took me like 15 years to basically understand it, because I think sometimes certain things in life have to happen before you appreciate the lesson, you see. So, well, if you do this for next couple of years, you can, and if you can invite me back, I will probably let you know what are other wisdoms that, kind of blossom during this period. Yeah.
Of course I will. You are part of the team already. Maybe you don't know, but I have this master plan in mind. So
Nice.
I would love to have you back every single year. I have a 5 years plan now.
Good.
So Maverick, the marketers, I know that you are super good in your profession. I was doing my meetings with you, and it was just amazing how you deal with all the gadgets. And I see that you are super good with everything, like showing your screen, and you are just like a fast person, like this. And I never managed this one. I am okay with technology, but kind of like the marketers have the best tools, like all the marketing guys, they have a big advantage by knowing how to use automation. We were just talking about this with Roposa, automation and such new tools that maybe some of the other people, they don't even know. And then comes the next step, that what are they using these tools for, right? So what do you think about this, the tools available, and how can they use it ethically and non-ethically?
Okay, so the ethics is one thing. Okay, but I think I'll address that at the second part. I think the first part will be, so I think since last year, you're right. It gave rise to a lot of those who are focused on technology to take center stage because everything's about digitalization right now, right? And like there are some people who have never been on a Zoom call their entire life, and in the last 1 year, there have been like Zoom calls every day or every week. So those who are more tech savvy, they would be in an advantageous position right now because those who have been doing Facebook ads before, those digital marketers before. But what I would, because I've been doing this for 18 years, I've seen technology come and go. Like last time I used to do fax marketing. So, and I noticed that you have young people in the audience as well. They may not even know what the fax machine is. Like when I was trying to explain to my son what the fax machine is, it's like a printer that is like attached to a phone line, and he will ask me, "What's a phone line?" Because everything is wireless right now.
That's
So,
true.
and it wasn't that long ago to think that, yeah, but the fax machine was still active like 5 years ago, maybe, but it has changed so much, right? So, so I think that if you focus on technology, it may not be the right thing to look at because it will come and go. Like Friendster used to be a big social media platform before, and I still remember people saying that, screw Facebook, Friendster is here to stay. And guess what? My kid will never know what Friendster is anymore. So if you're always focusing on technology, that's the sad part. There's always up and down. Not everything stays forever. But if you were to observe the psychology, so like even if you look back like 5,000 years ago, people wore blings and gold stuff, jewelry. And it because in a way, when they get attention, they feel important, they feel awesome. It's like, man, everyone's looking at me because of all this gold that I'm wearing. So it fits with one of their core emotions. But fast forward to today, maybe people don't wear as much jewelry right now, but they would like, hey, check out this cake that I just baked. Look at the icing that I put on it. Look at this chicken that I just made. Look at this stuff that I just bought. So the sense of displaying material is still there because the core emotion of wanting to get attention is still there. It's one part of the reptilian mind. I don't think it will ever go off. So if you were to focus on the psychology instead, the method will change over time. Like back then, it was gold bars, but right now it could be, I don't know, Bitcoin or something, right? So, and like having gold bars stashed away last time will give you some form of peace of mind. If shit happens, I can dig up my gold bar and something, right? And guess what? Bitcoin will probably create the same thing as you. So the tools are different, the methods are different, but the emotion that it appeals to will always be there. So we haven't evolved that much in terms. We have evolved like we don't want to wear clothes right now. We can communicate right now, but the truth is that our emotional attachment to things haven't evolved that much. So there are still people who in the workplace that they will come in and say, hey, Andrea, shut up. I'm a PhD holder. You should listen to me. Now, that is a very top dog mentality. Like, I'm the chief of the village. You shut up. So, and that haven't been around for like when we look at that, we say, oh, come on, they are being so ancient. They are being so left out in society. But it doesn't change the fact that at the workplace, we still have that ego driving us, you see. And it may take like a couple of thousand years of perhaps self-realization before we reach there. So that's why I always feel that, yes, tech is an advantage, but too much focus on it. Like you mentioned, before we came on board, we talked about Facebook, how it being more, you kind of need to pay more to basically get attention and stuff like this. So I always realize that when it comes to social media platform, so there's always this curve that happens, right? So at the start of something, so like when Facebook started, only Harvard and a couple of universities have access to it. So they are in the fringe zone. It's like, oh, it's super exclusive. If you're not a Harvard grad, if you're not a Harvard student, you can't join. So it's very fringe. If you realize that Clubhouse started the same as well. Oh, if you're not an iOS user, you wait because Android users have to wait or something. So it's a fringe. And then once it reached a point of mainstream, so that's where familiarity comes in, right? Familiarity, where we would say that, oh, if you're not on Facebook, you're a loser, you suck and stuff like this. And then where the downfall usually happens is where fascism come in, which is where Facebook is right now. Because like couple of years ago, you can run ads on anything. You can sell Bitcoin, you can basically talk about Forex, anything. But now if you realize they are scrutinizing, you can't say this anymore, you can't say that anymore. Because in the state of fascism, that's where they basically put down the, basically they'll put down the rules. Now here is where most of the users will start looking at something else. So they'll start looking at, hey, you know what, Facebook kind of sucks, Instagram too. Can we move on to another platform that has lesser rules? And this is not the first time. If you study history, history never lies. If you study history, this curve have always happened again and again and again in the past. So with perhaps Facebook will change in the next couple of months or years, we'll never know. But if you talk to enough marketers, even though they've been on Facebook for the last 5 to 8 years, they will tell you that, oh boy, things are changing. With iOS 14, for example, retargeting with all the privacy acts coming in, retargeting, basically digital marketing will have to evolve as well. So if the marketer is always relying only on Facebook ads, then they'll be in deep trouble, especially if your account got banned or when the masses move on to a new thing, a face lock or next social media platform that comes out. I don't know. There's 197, I think, social media platforms as of today. There's no telling who will go and who are the new ones that will come. So that's my take when it comes to technology around marketing.
Love that, and love this little tool that you were using. It's really nice. It's also something new. I haven't seen that yet.
No, but I always realized that this is so it could be a new tool, but I realized that it appeals to us at a very core level because I don't know how you are in school, but usually when a teacher goes to the board and the teacher draws something, the bad students will ignore. Whatever the teacher do, they will just ignore. But the good students will will sit up straight, will flip over to a new page of it and ready to write. So when we trigger that part of the emotion when we do a presentation using tools like this, people will pay attention because when you draw people in. It has always been like this since day one because just do that with a kid. Like you take a blank piece of paper and you start drawing a circle, you'll notice the kid will start paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
And
like the doodle, there was this doodle craze, right?
Yeah, even with an adult, they were like, oh, I wonder what's Maverick drawing. Oh, okay. So there has always been a way to capture attention as well. So this is beyond copywriting or anything, but it's just human behavior. So I think if marketers can tap into that psyche, right, then you will go back to how ethical it's going to be because I could draw something and implant ideas in your head, right? So yeah, but the technology is always there. The sword is whether we use it to defend or we use it to attack.
Yes, but I think it was powerful because you didn't turn your back. So with the technology today, it can be between you and me. I mean, between the viewer and yourself. So that's kind of like very powerful because they have to see it. Although when you are turning around and you're writing on the board behind you, then they see your back. So it's kind of like psychologically stopping them to, pay attention because they see your back. And when you show your back to someone, it's like, okay, you don't pay attention. So it's very, very nice how they figured out this tool. I really love it. So how do we
like even that? Sorry, if you can just chip in very quickly. So even that as well is like I noticed we all do presentations over Zoom or any platform right now. The thing is that the moment we share our screen, we do that as well. We tend to like remove the presenter's camera because it's like a bit intimidating to have someone looking at you all the time, especially when the camera is not on. So the moment you share your screen, first your face becomes really small in the corner. And the moment your presentation gets bored, we notice people will like play around your face or they remove your face entirely. So that's why I thought it sucks because as a salesperson, I'm putting all my emotion into this pitch and they can't even see it. So I could easily be at a robot without any expression. They will just be looking at the slide. So that's why if there are technologies like this where they can, where you can capture attention a lot easier. Yeah, correct. So I think that's a big plus, especially those of us who do virtual selling.
Okay, we have something here. How did you coin marketers as magicians? Perhaps you can share the background story behind this concept. Gladys is asking us.
How? Yeah, correct. Then we can get into manipulators, right? Why magicians? Because some, like, even just now, the fact that I can draw something in the air, people are like, "Holy crap, how do you do that?" So anything that captures a human's attention, just like how magicians will do, is like you're just walking along the street and someone just take a coin out of your ears. Like for that brief moment, your focus is on it. You were like paying attention on the road, and suddenly when someone pull a coin behind your ear, it has shifted your focus. You see, so I always look at magicians from that perspective. Because marketers, what we do is that you are driving, you are walking, you are commuting, and because of something that you hear or something that you see at the side of the screen, we manage to steal a couple of seconds from you to take your attention. And the fact that if you stop and start looking, that itself for me, I will coin that as that's what magicians do all the time to capture your attention, and they slowly entice you, engage you to bring you in closer and closer and closer. So that's what I meant when I say why marketers, we are magicians. We have a certain way with words because we understand how words will impact. Like a very simple copywriting hack could be, instead of let's say there's two versions. A, we help companies increase their profits. So that's version A. We help companies increase their profits. B, we help companies like yours increase your profits. We help company like yours improve or increase your profits. So just by adding the word you or your in the statement itself, you realize that it's a bit easier to hear. It's nicer to hear because I'm including you in that sentence right now. But if you look at it from the meaning, from the context, it didn't change. I'm essentially still saying that we can help you increase your profits, but just by adding those one or two words inside, it will change. So it will change the depth. It will basically get people more attracted, and that to me is like magic. So whatever that is supposed to be ordinary, just by sprinkling in a bit of magic dust inside, and then suddenly people will pay attention to it. We do that with packaging. So suddenly everything, just like how Apple does it really, really well. If you go to their website, you realize that it has a lot of blank spaces. So whereas some websites are just loaded with words and graphics, but how Apple did it is that it has a lot of blank space. Why? It's because they're trying to put in a feel of premium. Anytime when you walk into a premium store, you realize that they will rent a big space just to put a small item. Because we are told since young, try to maximize the space that you have, because space is expensive. But if let's say they were to project that image that, wow, there's a lot of space and stuff like this, it has manipulated in a way the way you perceive certain objects. The price of the object could be the same, but the value is different. So when I say that we are, in a way, what we do, we are magicians in a way, we get you to not pay attention on the things that you should be paying attention on, but instead we shift your focus to look at something else. So that's what I meant when I talk about magicians. I hope that clears things up.
I think that was a good answer for Gladys. So Gladys, just put a thumbs up if it was a good answer for you. And I really love this tool, and maybe we could just list a few things like you mentioned, like the example of the you. Like if you could just say one sentence. I mean, let's take 3 sentences and make it better. I don't know.
Oh, sure.
If you could make like three examples like the same, it was a really, really good example to show the
Yeah,
people.
a good one would be like, for example, you were to say like, okay, we all know that Michael is a crook. Okay, let's just say that's the sentence. We all know that Michael is a crook. But if we change the we to you and I know that Michael is a crook. So if you notice that, okay, grammatically it's wrong, because your teachers will say that, no, Andrea, when you say you and I, you're supposed to say we. Which is true. If you're selling an English program, please don't ever use that. But the moment if you were to say you and I know that Michael is a crook, right? It's inclusive languaging. I'm basically telling you that, hey, it's not just me, it's not just everyone else, you and me. So another example could be like 9 out of 10 Malaysians are broke. for example. So I can say 9 out of 10, or I can say 90%. So 90% of Malaysians are poor versus 9 out of 10 Malaysians are poor. Now, 90 both mean the same thing contextually, but 9 out of 10 has a kind of an inclusive effect as well, because then you can start imagining, hey, there's like 10 people in front and 9 of them are actually poor. Okay, but if you say 90%, they can't imagine it. They can't imagine the percentage because nobody wants to be a statistic and nobody interpret the world as statistic as it is. So when you say 2 out of 3 women suffer from anxiety, so if I'm a woman, I'll be like 2 out of 3. Shit, what if I'm one of the 3? So that's the effect that we get. Now that's where I talk about manipulation, right? Because if I were to say 66% of women suffer from anxiety, you may not. I say, okay, so that's just a number, 66%. Okay, but the moment I say 2 out of 3, it injects a picture in the head. And the moment it incepts a picture in your head, the next thing would be like, you will ask yourself, shit, am I in that 2 out of 3? So that picture starts seeding, right? So that's where some of the copywriting, so because I've been a copywriter for the last 18 years, so a lot of times we would put words like this to basically drive more action. But at the same time, like I said, of late, I try to tone it down a bit as well, because we know the power of words. Words can bring peace, and words can actually start wars as well. So that's why I always look at when Trump versus Biden a couple of months ago, if you are a neutral party and you were to go to Biden's camp and you just listen as a neutral person. I'm Malaysian. Frankly, whatever happens in US, we don't really feel that much over here. So if I were to just go to Biden's camp and just listen to what they're saying and like, okay, I take notes, and they have their points. And then after that, I go over to Trump's camp, and without any biases, if I were to sit there and listen, I'll realize that, man, they actually put the points really logically. It appeals to me emotionally as well. So what problem is that if I come back and I compare the notes, I can't decide, because both sides seem to have its merits. What just happened? Trump has his ways and Biden has his ways. But what marketers have done properly in that case would be, hey, don't look at Trump from this angle because it's not a nice angle. Why not you look at Trump from this angle? So that's what marketers, in a way, have done. Just by simply asking you to not look at the bad side, but look at the good side, right? Now, that's hiding part of the truth. So the question would be, when do we say enough is enough? So that's something that I think when we were having this conversation, I thought this is something that's interesting, because a lot of times people will think, hey, marketers, you're just supposed to move products off the shelf. Shut up and do your work. But what if, for a lady, for example, women tend to buy a lot of clothes and don't wear it. Which I'm pretty sure it's not in your case, but there are a lot of women who are like, oh, I have this special gown hanging there, and when there's a special night, I will wear it. But you know what? When that special night come around, you will probably buy a new gown, and that gown never got worn. So I think I've read in the research before, the cost to recycle textile have become more expensive than producing the textile itself. That's how much we have been buying stuff. And it's because gone old days, we would just buy something to keep us warm. But now we buy something for, I don't know, I know friends who will buy 7 different colors of the same shirt and only wear 2 or 3. And when I ask them why, they like, I know it feels like a good idea at the time, and they're having a discount, buy 5, free 2, right? I already wanted to buy 3, why not just get the other 2? So yeah, which I mean, I'm nothing against people who buy more stuff, but do we actually question why they put the message in that way and why it made us want to buy things that we don't necessarily need? Yeah.
Where would you start? Because that's a two-way button, right? Like, would you teach marketers to be more responsible, or you would teach buyers to be more aware?
Oh, that's gonna buy us another 3 hours, but let's okay, I think to a certain degree the marketers would have to be, look, a lot of times we try to justify our actions, because let's say I'm a marketer, I'm just serving a client. Okay, I'm just serving a client. My client engaged me because they want to increase sales. And increasing sales means that getting more people to buy, even buying stuff that is not needed. So even if you look at Amazon, for example, when you buy a iPad casing, and then at the bottom, they will suggest, hey, most people who buy this iPad casing would buy this screen protector as well. And you were like, yeah, but I don't really need a screen protector right now. But hey, it's purchase with purchase. If I just top up like X number, and then I'll basically, get a screen protector for future, just in case. So what did I just tap on? I tapped on two things: the herd mentality, because everybody who bought the iPad bought the screen protector, and second, I triggered your FOMO, fear of missing out. Because if I don't buy this screen protector right now, if I don't have something on standby, if I really need a screen protector like a few weeks down the road, where am I going to get it? So if you ask me who should play a role, that's a very tough question. But I think I will look at how turtles are close to being endangered species. That's why there are so many efforts to like protect them. Dolphins is the same as well. So, but for turtles, because for the longest time, so in Malaysia, near the beaches like Terengganu, another state over here, so whenever the turtles come, the moment they lay their eggs, poachers or basically just normal enterprising individuals will start taking the eggs and they will sell it, you see. So that's why eggs end up in our stomach more than hatching into little turtles. So they would say that, hey, we can't stop the merchants from selling, but we, as the consumer, can make a conscious decision to not take turtle eggs, for example, or not take shark's fins, for example. So I think to a certain degree, idealistically, I think starting with the marketers is easy, but they are in the middle, they are in between because they have to put food on the table and they have to service their client as well. And the clients themselves have targets to hit, right? So I think if the buyers, the consumers are the one that say, no, three shirts is enough. Let me just Maria condo my wardrobe and just have the necessary stuff. That would be great. So like for me, like I have been wearing black shirts. I only have 7 black shirts in my I do have some old ones which I wear once in a while, but I only have 7 black shirts. All my shirts are black. I have only 2 jeans and 2 shorts and a couple of underwears. So sometimes when I meet women and I tell them this, right, they are like, wow, does your girlfriend mind? And I'm like, what has it got to do with? I mean, I would respect my girlfriend at all, but so what you're saying, you actually want to dress up your partner, your husband, like a Ken doll? Is that why you will buy stuff for him? Because for the guy, maybe wearing black is easy to maintain, right? So I think so. Sometimes I will question, hey, that's a curious thought. Like how did that thought came around? Like, since when would a wife or a girlfriend be bothered if the husband wear the same shirt every day? So who planted the idea? So I'm actually not judging or anything, but I'm just curious, how did that idea came into place? So I think could be mass media, but actually since we have a lot of women over here, some of them will be like, Maverick, that's crazy. How can you just have 7 black shirts? So I told this to a lady who works in a bank, and she was pretty curious. So she decided to try. So this was pre-COVID. She basically had only 21 clothing items. After going through everything, she Maria condo everything. And for 90 days, she said, I'm just going to wear this 21 clothing items, scarf and all that. And she will just rotate, right? And every day before she goes out, she would take a photo of herself just to keep track of what she wore. Interestingly, after 3 months, when she go to her colleagues who sees her every day, and she asked them, hey, did you notice like I've been wearing the same stuff every day? The colleagues like, no. Did you? Come, let me show you the photo. So she actually showed the photo. You see this skirt over here? I just like tilted over. It's dark green, but I changed the top and all that. Here's the best part. None of them actually realize it. So a lot of times when we put on something new or something different, we ourselves would take note of it, but the others don't. So that's the reason why some women would they feel rejected, or they feel they are not being appreciated when they go to the husband and they ask, hey honey, do you notice anything different? because sometimes not all the time guys will pay attention to that, right? So, but my question is always, how did that thought get planted in you? Like that you need to wear something different all the time. You cannot wear something that I just wore last week because people will notice. It has already been proven, like in this lady's case, for 90 days she did that, and people did not realize that she was wearing more or less the same stuff every single day. So how much of the things are society's expectation, and how much of those stuff are actually our own expectations? So I think if we can do some form of enlightenment for the consumer side, maybe the marketers will realize that, oh, no, we need to follow the customers as well. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just saw you talking about the copywriting workshop that we have. Yes.
So we could talk about this for a long time. I know that you are passionate about this topic, and me too. We collided on this because manipulation for me is something that can be solved in two ways. Either, as I said, like spreading awareness around the people and making them more conscious and aware of what's happening to them, and not buying those 3 to 2 because you don't need that, right? So it's kind of like from that circle, you can already help the people. But the other thing is like what you do, I guess, is also telling to marketers that they don't have to be so over the border, and they can also tune down a little bit, like you said, when you're working, that all right, it will be still okay, you will still sell, and if you don't go there, then maybe the customers will come back more, or you are serving a good purpose, right?
Correct. So I think like what Patagonia has done, which I truly respected, like they launched a crazy campaign a couple of years ago, actually teaching the consumers how to repair their torn clothes. But most of the time, the shareholders will be like, are you stupid? Are you crazy? Because they could come back and buy more when the zipper is damaged. But the fact that Patagonia actually tell them, oh, this is actually how you fix the zipper so that you don't have to buy new ones. But oddly, I think the consumers got smarter, and they're like, man, this is the brand who really care for me. And the loyalty is, is bought, okay, in the way, I guess basically earn the loyalty in that way as well. So if more companies really truly care about the environment and also the people, right, then I think eventually we are all in the herd mentality anyway. So if enough people wear black shirts, those who wear pink will be outcasted, right? So yeah, I'm starting a movement, get everyone to wear black.
Yeah, it's like it always reminds me my mother's old washing machine, and I'm thinking like this machine was, my mother bought it when I was born. I'm 39 today, right? So these things are still alive. And when you are
Wow.
when you are like, buying a machine today, it will not be good. It's maximum like 5-7 years, and then you have to replace. But this machine is still working. It's still with electricity. It can still wash the clothes, and it's still a good quality. So I'm really, really with you in this, that we could optimize and there would be less garbage. And of course, the environment would be happy about it. It's not just about marketing, not just about the money. It's more about producing things that we don't need. And same like with information, like the digital garbage that we produce every day by posting about everything, and we don't even think about it, right?
Yeah, but I think a lot of times it's also the I think if enough people were to make a conscious decision to spend less, or to be, I'm not asking people to spend less, it's just be more intentional in the spending that you do. Like I know some who, I don't know whether you have friends like that, who like to order tons of food when you go and eat with them, even though they can't finish. It's just because they, it's either they want to have a buffet or to feel good that I can order so much food. And I'm always like, hey man, you know what? I brought some Tupperwares, because even if I'm not going to eat it, I know there'll be tons of people who are like just hungry. And I always ask them that, like, what's the motivation behind having to go with all this? And they're like, oh, because when I was younger, I was poor. I want to have more food I couldn't have, and now I'm spending. I say, yeah, that's interesting how, because I came from a poor background as well, but I
They
guess maybe due to
appreciate
our
food
parents.
more, right?
Yeah, like I would. Okay, can this food be kept tomorrow, or maybe I shouldn't order that much and stuff like this. But the mentality is that yeah, but I got money I can spend. True, but that doesn't mean that you can just donate would be great, right? So there are some who have even gone a step further. They would like, oh, I bought this. It's up to me whether I want to donate or not, and they don't. So I always wondered, like, did your parents not hug you well enough when you were young, or did something really traumatic happen that did this selfishness actually came about? So
Maybe it's
yeah, I
just
guess as a mom,
overcompensation. Maybe it's not selfishness. Maybe it's just overcompensation for something, right? What you said, that something
correct.
happened to
Something that
them and
happened in
maybe
the
they
past.
overcompensate. Yeah. They just don't know. They are not aware of it. So many topics. I mean, we could really spend so
Oh
much
yeah,
time on this,
talk
but I
about
believe
life.
let's just wrap up this session because it was originally like a 30-minute session. But yeah, this is such an interesting topic that there are so many little things that we could talk about. But you will come back in panel discussions, and we will also see you at your workshop about crafting attractive, authentic, and action-driven posts with the Aura copywriting framework on the 4th of November. So we will see you again for 50 minutes. The people can connect with you and be in the Zoom room with you in the GES workshop room. And
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to it. And thank you very much for tonight, Maverick. What would you say to
Thank
the
you.
young and the wise from the marketer's perspective? How could they be both together?
I think for the marketers, it will be a bit hard. Frankly, after this video goes out, probably I'll make some enemies as well. But this is actually the same topic that I did for my TEDx talk. So if you go to TEDx.com, it's the same thing. I basically brought this point of view. But so I guess my message perhaps is not to the marketers, but it's actually to the consumers who may be empowering marketers unintentionally. Look, I'm not getting people to stop spending or anything. So, but of course, what you do with what you earn is entirely up to you. But the question of the why, always do it with intention. If let's say you can sleep with peace with the intention that you have, then it's fine. Frankly, it's none of my business as well. But do look at the world at a macro level, even to the business owners as well, because if we create too much garbage, digital garbage or physical garbage, there won't be a world that we can live in comfortably. And COVID, I think, is a wake-up call from Mother Nature in a way to ask us to like look back, because could COVID 25 happen? We'll never know. But
Yep.
but now we can actually prevent it. We know that by doing certain things, we can actually prevent certain things, right? So we should be wiser with everything that happened in our life rather than just staying the same. So I think perhaps now it's a Sunday. Let's just take a couple of hours of reflection in the things that we do. But at the end of the reflection, your action is up to yours anyway. It's just that think of not just our future, because as a parent, I'll probably end with this as well. We always say that we are building a future for our children, but frankly, I think we parents, we are borrowing the future from our children. So that's the reality. They have to live with the decisions that we make today. So if we say that we love our kids, I'm not talking about other kids, just caring about your kid, that would single-handedly change the way we behave on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Ooh, too deep, but yes.
I will stay silent just because it was a very deep message I wanted to sink in. So it's like really, really nice message at the end. I really love it. So thank you very much, Maverick. We will see you again. And thank you,
Yes.
Jag, and thank you for everyone, Raya, and also for all the people who will hear, like Gladys, and just come back to the workshop. I hope you will enjoy the whole 6 weeks here with us, with all the 215 experts and all the 295 sessions that we are still doing for you. We have 70 plus workshops, and yeah, most probably I will be digitalized and my brain will become a computer in 6 weeks. But I'm super happy to be here and deliver this value to you with all of these experts. And thank you very much, Maverick, for coming on board and for supporting the cause to make everyone
Yeah.
a bit happier, a bit more aware, and a bit more adaptable to the change.
Thank you, everyone. And frankly, the last workshop should be conducted by yourself, Andrea. Like, how do you keep yourself sane and pretty and healthy after 295 live sessions? Like, that's like crazy. Okay, for all those who are viewing in, thanks for joining and supporting the cause. And I guess the message is simple: stay home, stay safe, and stay awesome.
Thank you very much. Bye, guys. Have a beautiful night. Thank you very much for watching us. Sorry for the little technical issue at the end. Most probably my laptop is not taking so many sessions per week. So this is the end of the first pre-week of the summit. And I can quite say that we had fun. We had 4 workshops. We had one workshop about modeling, NLP modeling. We had a workshop about a proactive mindset. We had a workshop about leadership and legacy. And we had the 4th workshop today with Rob about automation and habits and also the power of content. And now we are closing this week with Maverick, and it was an amazing conversation about marketers, whether they are magicians or whether they are manipulators. So many perspectives. I'm really encouraging you to check back the previous videos if you couldn't catch them. We had more than 40 sessions this week, and I had some very amazing conversations, and I especially would recommend you to watch back the Everest one with the 20-year-old Farida. It was super inspiring. I love to talk to all of the speakers because they are all bringing their color. They are all bringing their treasure to you. So now it's your turn to take all this value, and we will be back on Wednesday. Monday and Tuesday, I'm working on the scheduling. So I will prepare the next week's show, and I will prepare your calendars where you will find the links, and the system will be the same. So all workshops will be in a Zoom room, and the Zoom room link you already got via email from me when you purchased your free ticket. I use purchase, but I mean RSVP, your free ticket on the website. And all the shows, everything is also broadcasted to Facebook. You can go to the Global Changemakers group. You can go to my personal page. My personal page is my name. Or you can go also to the What We Mean One workshops page, which was the first brand that I created after my dancing brand in Malaysia, and where I was empowering women. And that's kind of like the women empowerment group part of my global empowerment hub. And you can enjoy the sessions, and don't forget, the more you interact, the more points you get from me. And at the end, I will get 5 winners, and all the 5 winners can get a creative leadership training. It's a 3 months leadership training. It's worth a lot in value and in experience, and also in results. So please make sure that you're watching us, make sure that you take all this value, and thank you very much for all the experts who were on this week and who were contributing to our growth, and all the people who were there for themselves by watching us, commenting, being at the workshops, asking questions. That's how we grow. So continue to do so for the next 5 weeks, where we have more than 200 sessions for you and more than 70 workshops. So we'll see you again. I empower you by doing this alone. It's not because I want to emphasize it because of myself, how superwoman I am. I'm not. I'm just someone who wants to help you, to show you that everyone has the treasure and the power to do big things. It just needs your determination, and it needs your commitment. And see you next week. I will go on a little break, and we'll have a little family time, and then we will continue with the live shows on Wednesday morning. We will come back with the health and wellness sessions in the morning, then the morning block, and the lunch, after the lunch, the afternoon block, and the evening blocks. And already with a lot of exciting things, and the iWealth Leadership Summit with the young leadership icons. Really looking forward to this weekend. So see you again. Have a beautiful evening, and in the US, have a beautiful morning, and we meet again. Don't forget, be yourself and be there for yourself. Stay safe, and if you have questions, you know where to find me. Goodbye, good night.